Good evening. Welcome to Fox 54 News at 6. I'm Kenesha Dees. Big news out of Decatur tonight. A street finally being renamed after weeks of deliberation. It's all part of a long fight for justice for a man who was shot and killed in front of his home during an attempted car repossession back in 2023. It'll be named after Steve Perkins. Fox 54's Caleb Aguayo shows us where this change is being made.
Ryan Drive is being renamed Steve Perkins Street after a vote passed the Decatur City Council just last week. Residents are now saying it just might bring some healing to the city of Decatur. But not everyone is on board with the renaming. Some residents telling me it's a hassle to change their documentation to match. Others saying the goal is to honor and bring remembrance to Steve Perkins' legacy. But here's one common thread. No amount of rectification will change what happened that night in 2023. It all comes about 2 years after Perkins was shot by Decatur police in a car repossession gone wrong. He later died as a result of the incident, drawing waves of demonstrations for police accountability. I spoke with Susan Capps, a neighbor who originally recorded the incident from her home security camera. Here's what she had to say about it all.
It's been a long time coming. They needed to do something to memorialize Steve. I know there's the side that doesn't feel that he was murdered, but as a person that was here and saw most of it happen, he was murdered. And he was a good man. He was awesome. I know the street naming won't bring him back, but at least it's a step in the right direction for the community, I hope.
The official renaming ceremony will be here on Ryan Drive tomorrow night at 5 p.m. In Decatur, I'm Caleb Aguayo, Fox 54 News.
And we will be on the ground at that ceremony for the renaming of Steve Perkins Drive tomorrow night. Tune in tomorrow after the game to check in on our coverage. You can also see our previous coverage of this story on fox54.com. We'll stay in Decatur. The lawsuit challenging the results of Decatur's municipal elections has been dismissed. The suit was filed by a Decatur resident last week, alleging some ballots contained only 2 of the 4 mayoral candidates, leaving Butch Matthews and Susie Wiley off the ballots. Today, that suit was dismissed with prejudice, meaning they will not be able to refile. Court documents show the ruling was made because the suit failed to prove that the outcome of the election would have been altered in any way if the ballots were in fact missing names, and that any person will suffer irreparable harm as a result. The plaintiff also failed to meet the 5-day deadline to file and did not pay the security fee. And we're going to take another live look out over Kiel Mountain, and still a beautiful view for many folks on the way home too, I would imagine. Not a cloud in the sky, but plenty of sun. It's setting at this point. Let's bring in Fox 54 Weather Impact Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. Jordan, how's Friday night football looking for us?
Yeah, it's going to be fantastic because that lack of cloud cover is really indicative of a lack of moisture across the Tennessee Valley. Even here over the Parkway in downtown Huntsville, we're talking about that same lack of cloud cover, which means we continue to talk about that lack of moisture. So Friday night football is going to feature warm temperatures, yes, but a strong lack of humidity. Beautiful clear sky this evening overlooking the Parkway. We're looking northbound on Memorial Parkway. Traffic has picked up. Of course it has. It's 6 o'clock on Friday evening, and there's a lot to do this evening, whether you're going out for dinner or, of course, one of the many local high school football games being played across the Tennessee Valley. Temperatures currently sitting somewhere in the 80s, 85 in Scottsboro, 85 in Albertville, 88 in Florence, 86 right now in Fayetteville, up across southern Middle Tennessee. Let's talk about Friday night football, shall we? 80 degrees at 7 o'clock this evening, 76 at 8, 74 by 9, 72 degrees by the time we get to 10 p.m. A nice clear sky. A beautiful evening is going to transition into a beautiful weekend. We'll talk about it in just a couple of minutes.
Looking forward to it. Thank you, Jordan. A reckless murder charge has been filed against the man accused in last weekend's deadly high-speed chase. 40-year-old Archie Brandon Hale now charged with reckless murder after police say he led officers on a dangerous pursuit that ended in a fatal crash. Investigators say Hale ran a red light at high speed at the intersection of Highway 31 and 36, slamming into a minivan carrying teenagers. 17-year-old Tristan Hollis was killed in that collision. 3 other teens were injured. The chase began with Priceville police and continued into Hartselle, where officials say Hale sped through traffic and ignored signals. Hale is being held without bond under Anaya's law at the Morgan County Jail. A preliminary hearing date has not yet been set. Tristan's funeral was held yesterday at Hartselle City Cemetery. President Trump announced today his administration will target Memphis next as part of his efforts to crack down on crime across the nation's major cities. He said it will send in the National Guard and possibly the military if needed. New statistics from the Memphis Police Department this week show overall crime is at a 25-year low. Tennessee's Republican governor says he's in communication with the Trump administration to develop a strategic plan to combat crime in Memphis. But the Shelby County mayor feels differently.
So I think that all Memphians are against seeing individuals with military fatigues, semi-automatic weapons, and armored vehicles on their streets. I don't think anybody feels comfortable with that. And so we're going to do everything we can to see if we can turn this thing around, like moments right now, to raise awareness. But also, I'm going to explore litigation.
Memphis is a majority black city and has a Democratic mayor. Tennessee's governor is a Republican. Back here in the Tennessee Valley, Decatur city officials on the defense after this week's announcement of traffic changes coming to 6th Avenue. On Tuesday, the city announced traffic modifications, including adding medians with turn lanes and converting side streets to right turn only. It's part of a 4-year project designed to improve safety and traffic flow. But residents have expressed their concerns online, prompting today's response from the city. Officials acknowledge the changes are causing adjustment difficulties for drivers, but say residents will adapt quickly to the new traffic patterns. Residents with concerns about the project can contact the city planning department at planning@decatur-al.gov. Norfolk Southern is preparing to begin several weeks of railroad crossing repairs across Madison County Monday. Each repair will require a temporary road closure to through traffic. Temporary traffic control will be in place at each crossing, the ones you can see here, and detour routes will be clearly marked. Contractors will notify affected residents at least 24 hours before any closure. Mayor Tommy Battle provided an update on a move that had many people in Huntsville concerned. The resolution that would put AI cameras on city garbage trucks is being put on hold. These cameras would use AI to spot code violations in Huntsville. They would be placed on 25 trucks, and original documents say it would cost the city just shy of $340,000 each year. But many residents have voiced their concerns over budgeting and privacy issues. This is what Mayor Battle had to say at last night's city council meeting.
We've removed it because we quite frankly feel we need to educate people a little bit better on it, let people know exactly what it's going to do, what the ramifications it has, what the propensity is for their ability to actually take pictures. Several other things in the contract needed to be tweaked, and so we have put it off right now.
Mayor Battle adds they'll be working on this matter over the next 6 to 8 months. City Council President John Meredith says it will properly be taken out of the agenda at the next City Council meeting on September 25th. Well, check this out. Wilson Dam and Lock celebrating 100 years of service today. It's TVA's largest hydroelectric facility with 21 turbines spinning constantly. It provides more than 660 megawatts of electricity, providing power to almost 400,000 homes in the Tennessee Valley. A lot of the work is now automated, with 37 workers and technicians making up the workforce. If you want to learn more about Wilson Dam, the space outside the facility is open to the public. That includes miles of riverside walking space with information about the dam posted around the trails.
Family member of Tyler Robinson reached out to a family friend.
One tip led to another, a 30-plus-hour manhunt now over. The suspect for the murder of conservative political commentator Charlie Kirk has been captured. We have details on that just ahead. And a vacant Huntsville bowling alley takes on a new life to save lives and give people a new start. Monarch Lanes will be transformed to a rehabilitation center for a nonprofit. Stay with us. After a 33-hour manhunt, a suspect is in custody in connection with the killing of Charlie Kirk. This morning, state and federal officials announced Tyler Robinson was arrested last night. Robinson, who had no prior criminal history, is currently being held without bond, and sources say he is not cooperating with investigators at this time. Lee Waltman has the latest.
The hunt for the suspect accused of killing Charlie Kirk is over.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We got him.
Officials in Utah announcing the arrest of 22-year-old Tyler Robinson.
A family member of Tyler Robinson reached out to a family friend who contacted the Washington County Sheriff's Office with information that Robinson had confessed to them or implied that he had committed the incident.
Investigators interviewed members of Robinson's family who shared the alleged shooter became more political in recent years and spoke negatively about Kirk. In Friday's press conference, FBI Director Kash Patel touted the success and speed of the manhunt.
Forensic evidence has been seized and continues to be garnered. Forensic evidence has already been evaluated at FBI laboratories in Quantico and state local authorities here.
Some of the evidence collected included a bolt-action rifle and shell casings with engraved inscriptions that read messages like, "Hey fascist, catch." The alleged shooter's roommate showed investigators messages on Discord, a group chat app, where Robinson talked about retrieving a rifle. Authorities believe he acted alone. Cox decried the violence as an attack on American ideals, calling it a watershed in the nation's history.
This cuts to the very foundation of who we are, of who we have been, and who we could be in better times. Is this the end of a dark chapter in our history or the beginning of a darker chapter in our history?
I'm Lee Waldman reporting.
A jail official says he's facing multiple initial charges, including aggravated murder, but has not been formally charged yet. Several Alabama leaders responding to the arrest today, praising the work of law enforcement. Governor Kay Ivey said, quote, "They got him. Now justice must be served for Charlie Kirk and his family and for our country. I would support Spencer Cox and Trump's DOJ in pursuing the death penalty. Political violence of any kind cannot happen in this country," end quote. Senator Katie Britt also took to social media saying, quote, "I'm thankful to all the law enforcement who were able to catch this assassin. This is the first step to justice being served," end quote. City of a former bowling alley in Huntsville, or the site rather, of a former bowling alley here in Huntsville will transform to a site of rehabilitation. A special gift from one business to a nonprofit. Details ahead. And Jordan, how's Friday night football weather?
Yeah, Friday night football looks absolutely fantastic across the Tennessee Valley, and then that's going to transition into a wonderful weekend. We'll discuss it in just a bit.
The former Monarch Bowling Alley, vacant for nearly 2 decades, is finally being given a new purpose. The building was recently gifted to Not One More Alabama, a nonprofit that's been addressing the substance use crisis for the past 8 years. And soon, the space will transform into Noma's Community Recovery Center, a place to build hope, provide support, and bring together people in recovery.
People in our community that are struggling every single day with substance use disorder. And if it's not the individual themselves, they have a family member that's struggling. What we're hoping to do in our community is educate, have connection, and support these families. This is a way that our community can join together and show our love and support for those that are trying to improve their lives. We're so excited and can't wait here at Not One More Alabama to have this recovery center open for our community to enjoy.
Yeah, a lot of support there. Well, the center will feature a coffee shop, live music, and meeting rooms. Here's a sneak peek of how it will look like, and it's all designed to give people a fun, safe, and sober space to connect. Construction set to begin at November 1st.
Now, the Tennessee Valley's certified most accurate forecast from the FOX54 Weather Impact Team.
And here's another beautiful live look just outside Huntsville International Airport. You can really see the sun glowing on the right side of the screen as it's setting.
Yes.
It's quite beautiful, actually.
At this point, we're just like 30-ish minutes from sunset, which
wow.
I know, right? Insane that now we're talking about sunsets that occur within the 6 o'clock hour. But I think it's a good time of year because we get to look at them.
I know, they're beautiful.
And then it also means that maybe one day real fall will get here.
One day, but not anytime too soon, right?
Yeah, no, definitely not. As a matter of fact, fake fall, definitely a thing of the past, and now summer is going to begin to kind of slide back into the Tennessee Valley, and maybe you've already noticed it over the last couple of days. Temperatures climbed into the lower 90s this afternoon. We're currently sitting in the 80s, 88 in Huntsville, 85 in Coleman, and a pair of 85s for both Pulaski and Fayetteville up across southern Middle Tennessee. A little bit cooler over in Fort Payne this evening. Our friends over in Northeast Alabama currently sitting at 82 degrees. Friday night football, I've told you once, twice, and a million times. I'll tell you one more. Looks fantastic tonight. 80 degrees at 7 o'clock, 76 at 8, 74 by 9, 72 degrees at 10 p.m. A lack of humidity this evening, really going to make for some fantastic football watching conditions. We also get to enjoy a really nice clear sky across the Tennessee Valley, and we're going to maintain that clear sky for the next couple of days, which means we're going to continue to not talk about any rain. We're going to be dry this weekend, and then we're going to be dry through the early and middle part of next week. It's not until we get to the later part of next week that we're finally going to bring some opportunities for rain into the Tennessee Valley next Thursday and Friday. Now, they're not big opportunities for rain. Just a couple of isolated showers are going to be possible both Thursday and Friday of next week. Dew points this weekend going to be on the lower end of the spectrum. Saturday afternoon, we're talking about dew points in the mid and upper 50s. At times, we could be creeping into the lower 60s, but when you consider the fact that it's mid-September, it is going to feel incredibly comfortable outside. So if you have any outdoor plans tomorrow, definitely going to be no problems there. And if you don't have any outdoor plans yet, well, you should make some. And if you don't make them for tomorrow, you should make them for Sunday. Of course, quality football watching happens now that we're talking about professional football, college football, high school football. Move the TV outside if that's like a thing. I've been trying to convince my wife to let me put one out on the patio, and it hasn't worked yet. Dew points on Sunday afternoon, once again in the mid and upper 50s, could be creeping into the lower 60s. All this to say, fantastic weather this weekend. Off to the tropics we go. We're talking about a weak little system sitting just off the African coast. It has to cross the entire Atlantic Ocean, and as it crosses the entire Atlantic Ocean, it has a 40% chance of further development over the next week. It is way too soon to tell if this will have any impact on the Caribbean, the Gulf, or the continental United States. Here's what I got for you tonight. It's going to be nice and quiet. Temperatures dropping into the lower 60s. Got a low right around 63 degrees. You might want to leave your AC running. I think a couple of you could probably give the AC a bit of a break. You'll need it this weekend though. 90 degrees on Saturday, 91 degrees on Sunday. We start Sunday in the lower 60s once again. Got a low temperature Sunday morning of 62 degrees. It'll be beautiful as you're heading out the door for Sunday services and Sunday breakfast. If we look at the long-term forecast, there's about a 60 to 70% chance that we're going to continue to talk about above average temperatures. And when I say the long-term forecast, I mean kind of that period beyond the next 7 days. Speaking of, have a good look at the next 7 days. 90 on Saturday, 91 on Sunday, plenty of sunshine. Going to be a beautiful weekend. 91 both Monday and Tuesday, 92 both Wednesday and Thursday, sticking with the lower 90s by the time we get to next Friday, but then introducing that small opportunity for a little bit of rain.
Yes, it's that time of the week, so here's your weekly roundup of the best weekend activities. First up, the North Alabama Air Fest. The two-day event at Pryorfield Regional Airport features vintage warbirds, military jets, aerobatic performances, and interactive exhibits. Tickets are $17, and the event runs from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. Saturday and Sunday. Next, the 4th annual NATR Fest in Decatur. Tomorrow at Point Mallard, you can enjoy free outdoor activities including kayaking, mountain biking, rock climbing, archery, and geocaching. The festival runs from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Saturday and welcomes both experienced outdoor enthusiasts and those trying new activities. And then finally, start your weekend early at tonight's Moonlight Market. It features more than 40 local artists and vendors, live music, and a DJ. The free event is 6 to 10 p.m. at the downtown square, giving you time to shop, explore local restaurants, and enjoy the downtown scene. And as always, if none of this is your style, we have a full list of this weekend's happenings on FOX54.com. Down in Mobile, a family recently discovered the fossilized shell of a 32-million-year-old sea turtle while fishing. The leatherback sea turtle shell represents a new species of turtle and is one of the most complete fossils of its kind found anywhere in the world. It's also the first fossil to carry a Muskogee name since it was recovered in an area that is part of the Porch Creek ancestral homeland. The fossil is now on display at the McWane Science Center in Birmingham, further cementing Alabama as a hotspot for fossil discovery. Nick, what's happening in sports tonight?
Mesmerized with that turtle, first of all. Second of all, we got ourselves a Big Ten matchup tomorrow for big noon kickoff. Looks like a blowout on paper, but Joel Klatt gives us his keys to an upset. Next to sports.
Fox 54 Sports is sponsored by Alpha Insurance.
A big noon battle along the shores of Lake Michigan. Good evening and welcome into sports. Coming up tomorrow on Fox 54, it's a battle of David and Goliath for our big noon kickoff game as Northwestern hosts reigning conference champ Oregon in a Big Ten conference matchup, which is still really weird to say. On paper, it looks like the Ducks should dominate this one. Oregon checks in as the number 4 team in the land, and they've scored 59 and 69 points in their first 2 games of the year. Meanwhile, Northwestern 1-1 after a win over Western Illinois, but an ugly 20-point loss to Group of 5 opponent Tulane in Week 2. According to ESPN Bet, the Ducks are a 27.5-point favorite despite being the road squad. Fox Sports analyst Joel Klatt tells us what's got to happen for Northwestern to shock the world.
The recipe for an upset for Northwestern is very specific. Number 1, you have to win the turnover margin. +2, +3 has to happen. But it's not just getting those turnovers. It's also capitalizing on those turnovers and creating points off of them. You got to put points on the board if you're able to take the football away. The other thing that they need to do is limit explosive plays, because Oregon clearly is one of the most explosive play teams in the country. And then lastly, hold on to the football. Long possessions, which shrink the game. Maybe Oregon only gets 50 snaps and only 22 or 23 minutes time of possession. That is the blueprint for how Northwestern pulls this off.
Wouldn't bet on it, but we'll see. And before we jump into college football tomorrow, tonight we have the Week 3 episode of First Down Friday Night, which will feature previews of your favorite college teams, but also highlights from great high school games like Sylvania and Geraldine. The Rams and Bulldogs will face off for the 70th time this evening. Sylvania has owned the series of late, winning the last 5 meetings, including a state quarterfinal a few years back. But it's the Bulldogs who have the momentum, checking in at 2-0, while Sylvania is 0-2. That and many other games on the docket for tonight's show. You can check it out at 10 p.m. right here on Fox 54 Plus, and after the Kansas State and Arizona game wraps up on TV on Fox 54. Hope you join us then. Kanisha?
Thank you, Nick. Now, would you try sunscreen flavored ice cream? You might get the chance. Van Leeuwen Ice Cream and Carnival Cruise Line teamed up for an unusual collaboration celebrating the end of summer. They created a sunscreen ice cream for a marketing campaign. Ingredients in the ice cream include coconut cream, cocoa butter, vanilla extract, and sea salt. People Magazine staffers tried it and said it was surprisingly delicious, but you can't currently buy it in stores. They'll decide whether it gets enough buzz to offer it to consumers for a limited time. I mean, based off of the flavors, what is it? Coconut cream, vanilla extract, cocoa butter. It sounds like just coconut flavored ice cream.
I mean, basically, yes, but these are the same people that invented the macaroni and
Yes.
cheese flavored ice cream.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah, remember
That's
when
a flashback.
Yeah, that
that's
was
a
a
throwback,
thing.
Did y'all try it?
Absolutely not.
No, sunscreen, it feels a little disingenuous. Like, that's just like a coconut ice cream, which doesn't
Yeah.
sound bad. But
Like,
sunscreen, just going for clicks and attention.
Exactly.
I'd try it.
You try it? Do you like coconut flavored things, though?
Yes, but I know you don't.
Oh, no, I am a major anti-coconut. No coconut milk, no paydays, no ice cream, no pina